Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Theresa, but you can call me Cat. I'm doing my bi-weekly astrological check-in. I'm using a Triptych Door format for all of these piles. I know you can only see the corner of two of them. Don't worry about that. Now I have shuffled the decks and laid them out and randomly thrown the tags on there, so I didn't have, I wasn't being biased in where I was sticking them. Now I'm going to go in the same order that I normally go in. I'm going to start with the sign that we're in right now. We're still in Taurus, so I'm going to do Taurus, and then Aries, and then we're going to go backwards the way that the precessional cycle works. To start off with, I used a lot of decks this week. God, my hands are dry. Hold on. I used a lot of decks this week. Although not all of the ones that I own. There's a few that I wasn't feeling today. Oh man, it's so crusty. It's extremely windy out. It was snowing here earlier, and it's trying to get back up to the normal 50s and 60s degrees after dipping into the 30s overnight and spitting flakes. So, okay, here we go. So, for this reading, I am using the Wild Unknown Tarot. And its sisters, the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck, the Aquarian Tarot, the Morgan Greer. I got mine in a cardboard box, not a tin. I don't know if that makes any difference, but I wasn't sure. I've got the mini Rider-Waite. So cute. I've got my music deck that I made for myself. Bootleg images. As I printed it out on my computer. Well, on the printer. Work Your Light Oracle. Mystical Shaman Oracle. The Thoth deck. Lucy Cavendish Blessings deck. Syrian Starseed Tarot. The Uno deck. My Pinnacle deck, which is my Twin Flame deck. And I get one of these other, okay. My combined deck of Historical Fashion and Tim Burton cards. They're just regular playing cards. So that's what I'm using. And I might have to use these other stacks of cards if I feel like, because usually if I do a Triptych Door, I'll look at the bottom of the deck. Alright, so we're starting with Taurus, so that's over here. Spread these out a little bit. Doesn't really matter where the piles are as long as they're not in my way. Perfect, okay. So we have Taurus. I feel like that's wrong. Okay. So in the center for Taurus we have slightly out of focus. Okay, a blessing to bring solace and hope, 41. So that breaks down to a 5. So this to me feels like an after tarot of the 5 of Pentacles. Alright, so we have a very frosty card. Judgment and the World together. Interesting. Okay. It's like the Magician and the Emperor trying to bring in energy to repair. You know, what's interesting is that those numbers are masculine numbers, and we have a feminine who's out in the cold here. But we'll see what that relates to. And again, this came out inverted, so it's like a confusion or a delay here, perhaps. And we have 61 water inverted. So we go from 41 to 61. Inverted water. Lack of nourishment. Dried out. Emotionally over waterlogged. 12, the Coyote. So we have essentially 21, 41, 61. So there is an idea of judgment going on here. Now the Coyote is the trickster, but it brings in lessons to help you learn something in ways that sort of shake up your foundation. We also have the idea of the Hangman energy, and then we have the Magician and the High Priestess. And I would say perhaps some Knight of Water energy as well. Perhaps Knight of Pentacles energy. So let me see. Earth of Water. Yeah, it's Knight of Water energy. So what we have here for Taurus, which is Venus and Earth energy. We have, you're out of your element. You've been given something in your world that's shaken you up. It's brought you to this judgment zone of reviewing your life purpose in a way where you felt like life was kicking you in the ass here. The Coyote is really there saying, you know, you wouldn't have learned if it was easy. And this idea of not feeling nourished or fulfilled or stable is saying, like, yes, you've gone through it. And also, I'm seeing 19 here with it upside down, which is the sun. It's like, again, it's this idea of being dried out, of trying to reach out, but especially here, 61, it's, I see it as like the Chariot, but it's like being in the washing machine. It's like a tower moment. You've had to wash away the edifices of who you are, and in this point of being really bogged down and hung up emotionally because of what you've gone through. And again, I do sense, I mean, there is a physical element, that Five of Pentacles related to the Taurian Earth energy, but there's also, like I said, there's a lot of masculine energy, but with the water and that High Priestess too, we do see this feminine figure here. It's like saying your masculine energies had an overhaul, and your feminine energy is like, what the hell's going on here? Like what about what I need? And I even see this swirl here in the middle, reminds me of this washing machine. So it's like the feminine energy has been frozen in time, while the masculine energy for Taurus goes through this like Hunger Games kind of energy, where it's like in order for masculine energy to survive and thrive, they've had to completely wash away who they thought they were and build themselves up to the emperor and the magician here. It's that the idea, the judgment is calling you to be who you really are. And I see that over and over again here with the gaps in the 20. I thought I was going to say something else. Oh yeah, the number 5 here is the Hierophant. Also, it's not just a pivot. It is Taurus. So it's saying, in order to be the vision that your higher self came in with, you need to have gone through this overhaul. All right, so that's it for Taurus. Oh, hang on. Let me see what's on the bottoms of the decks. Beauty Way, number 4. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. This is what this is leading to. And the 4 is that rebuilt foundation, the transformation. And what's on this deck? A blessing on your love. So 17, that's the star. That's like wishful. And then we have this earth energy here. We have the masculine. And he's gone through this washing machine with the moon here. That growth phase. And 8, strength to become who you're supposed to be. Okay, so there we have Taurus. And I have to shuffle these decks because I'm going to need a new bottom card for the other ones. Alright, so who's next? Aries. So we have the Ram. We have okay, ruled by Mars. The fire. I don't know why I was confused about that all of a sudden. Okay, so we have another. For Aries, we have the mystical shaman, and then these guys here. So let's see what our starter is. Eagle, 16. Okay. So the eagle flies above and has a bird's eye perspective. They survey their world and they know what they need and they can pinpoint what they're doing. We have a 1, which is magician energy. We have 6, which is the lovers. We have a potential tower here, and we also potentially have the chariot. Sort of bird's eye view, this clarity, with also this idea of like swords energy, of like intuition, psychic ability, the able to see. And we have masculine energy related to the Ace of Cups inverted. And feminine energy related to 10 of Cups. Okay, so this is definitely the chariot. Then we have 11 here, that's divine timing. 7 and 10, that's 17, that's the star. So it's like wish energy, hope energy. Let me check out these things here for a second. Ace of Cups, so that's fall and water, and this is Mars in Pisces. So the energy here, that psychic energy, is the Pisces energy. It's that 6 is the twins, right? The lovers, Gemini, air. And the magician is Mercury and air. And this we have suspended in air in the process of falling. Right? With this idea of trying to spring into action to prevent this emotional loss from the masculine energy. So the Mars energy from Aries is using their psychic ability to detect something going on with feminine energy. Now, if you're in a relationship, the masculine is feeling like they've lost the feminine. They can see her, and her mode is to complete her emotional body. It's to have that fulfillment and the emotional abundance. Now, if you're working on yourself, it's like saying, you know, your feminine side has been developed, but your masculine side really needs this help right now. I see 6 and 10 here on this side. That's the tower for the feminine. There's like it's like the feminine has already restructured in order to gain this. So it's almost like working it backwards. But over here I see 1 and 1, right? I see Ace and Magician, but why is this inverted? It's like the eagle is in free fall trying to rebalance. Let's see what's on the bottom of the decks. So we have the Ace of Swords, winter and air, fall, winter, related to the feminine. So now the feminine has 11. And for the masculine, we have completion, number 9, 9, 10, 11, inverted. So the issue here with this emotional, emotional free fall with the masculine energy, notice when it's inverted, we have 6. So we have out of love, feeling ill, like lovesick energy. And with this idea that the chakras aren't fully aligned, the heart chakra is closed. There isn't a flow. So the issue here is that it's like saying the feminine energy has gone through a tower phase. The masculine energy is coming up against a tower phase because their heart needs to open a little bit more fully. And even so, with this upside down, there's a heart in here that's bound. It needs to be this way to have that complete flow. So for Aries right now, keep tapping into your feminine side. Let that heart chakra be open. Follow this example, because right now the feminine has to work on the feminine energy is having issues with thoughts. Now, again, if you're in a relationship, the feminine is wondering, it's like the winter of the discontent, like, what's going on? Where is he? Why isn't, like, I feel like I'm supposed to have this, but I'm not getting this Ace of Cups from over here. And she doesn't understand what the holdup is, because she already did the work. And that's feminine energy, not a female person. So the what's going on here, again, if this is internal work, your masculine energy needs more nurturing. It needs to have that, to feel safe, to feel like they're allowed to be loving and giving, that healing of the wounded heart space for the masculine. Now I don't see pentacles in here at all, but it would end up being 6 of Pentacles for that masculine open heart space. So really what everything that's going on here is very internal, emotional, and thinking. And even in this card, the feminine is thinking about herself. Like, what's in it for me? You know, like what am I doing all this work for? What if, like, if there's still all this other work to do, like, internally? Externally, if it's a relationship, it's like, you'll be better off if you focus on yourself instead of wondering what's going on over here. Okay? So that should be pretty succinct-ish there. Alright, so heart chakra. And if you are a feminine and you've done your inner child work and you feel open and everything, you have to realize that you still have a masculine inner child that may or may not have been addressed. And that's where that's coming from. I think that's all for this deck. Put that over here. But I'm still using this deck for somebody else. So we need... I've got to shuffle this again. Oh wait, no, that's not this deck. It's the other one. Okay, so I'm done with that one. So Aries, Pisces. Where's Pisces? Over here in the corner. Over there in the spotlight. Okay. Pisces. We have water ruled by Neptune. Imrama, where are you being called to journey to? Okay. So I think Imrama is one of those like Nirvana, Shambhala, higher dimensional places. We have these, in Jordan, they have these doors, like these facades that are just carved right into the rocks. I think it's in Jordan anyway. It's one of those countries. Standing stones. So here it's... Now this card has a triptych door on it. It's probably the middle and then the 2 sides, just like this. These are, I think they're almost the same height, but you can tell that's the middle because these are thinner. It's like a journey inside the mind, like the magic bus. So we have wolf here, earth energy, and the whale inverted, water energy. It's like, this way, like running aground. You gotta go deeper. Oh, see, these have the light pattern going the same way. So the wolf is someone who's like a, like, I mean, wolf energy tends to be more sort of masculine in its presentation. It's like the King of Pentacles. He's like nurturing, providing that alpha, protecting the whole pack. But he does get into a little trouble because if you're not sort of like towing the line the way he thinks it's supposed to be, he gets a little bit bitchy about it. It's not quite my way or the highway. He just doesn't realize that there are other ways of thinking. So in here, okay, this does go this way because this is like first. So the idea is like if you've been in one mindset and you think you're taking care of everything, you have a little more, you've got like somewhere else to go still. And the idea is that you have to go deep emotionally to this sort of ancient repository of knowledge, this deep emotional reserve that lets you know that what you're doing isn't always going to be beneficial in the way that you think to other people. Now this whale card, I know it's not that visible up here, but it's green and blue here. So we're trying to get better emotional intelligence, like in communicating feelings to people. Here, the wolf, see, he's mostly stuck in this orange and yellow. There's not a lot of emotion here. It's that drive to like get things done, take care of it. Here, it's like you really need to express yourself more eloquently, and this is, you're not there yet. You have to go in and really get in there and deal with it. Now see this red and purple here. It's like you have to connect that that psychic intuition, Pisces, and that crown energy. You have to link it back down into your roots to get that full circle flow and really understand how to interact with other people in that way. So let me see what's on the bottoms of the decks here. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? Now the High Priestess with the number 2 usually in the tarot is looking very much like Pisces. She's, let me see. Yeah, she's very watery. She's ruled by the moon. Now the moon card actually is Pisces for some reason, even though the moon is ruled by Cancer. So we have this feedback loop to where are you being called to journey to? How are you being called to step up and lead? Your leadership has been a little bit pretty stable, but a little bit wonky. And now you need to come back with this water energy and say, oh, this is how it's really supposed to happen. And here we have this like chakra energy loop here with this pyramid here leading up into that crown energy and this feedback loop with the those back-to-back lions there that I never remember what they're called. So let's see what's on the animals here, the bottom of the deck. So we have the elk inverted. So this is the same thing really as what's going on with the wolf. We have this sort of King of Pentacles energy, and then he's sort of stuck in the lower chakras. Here there's a little bit of green, more green than on the other card, but it's like open up that crown and go deeper into yourself. Go through this watery moon energy in order to really have some good stable grounding to interact with other people and really start to open up that heart chakra energy. All right. So do I still have both of these cards out here? It's just the, okay. I think that's the only stack with the animals on it, so I think we're done with that. But I am using these again, so we're going to shuffle these to get a different bottom card. Although it could end up being the same bottom card and I wouldn't know. So that was Pisces, Aquarius. There. Ruled by Uranus. Air. That's wrong. Okay. I'm going to sip of water. I don't care about TikTok. Oh, fuck out of my face. Okay. Aquarius. Card's slightly uneven. Okay. Two of crystals inverted. Alright, so you can see there's a yin-yang going on back here. So I try to balance masculine and feminine energy. This guy right here, he's getting into it. So he's got a geode here and then a crystal point. But he's having a hard time making that decision. Okay. That's Two of Pentacles there. So that's Jupiter and Capricorn. Usually this one is like trying to figure out which, like this or this or the other. And I feel like with it inverted, it's saying I've made the choice or I'm being forced to make the choice. Sagittarius. Philosophical. Alright, so we have the Three of Wands inverted. And 8, the Strength card. Okay, so we have a pivot. We have 5 here. 5 of Pentacles inverted. Why is there... Oh. Okay, so there's air and earth energy involved in a pivot there. And 3 of Wands. Sun in Aries, but inverted. So this is like a nightfall. Okay. Strength is the Sun. And Leo. Now I see 11 here. That's something to do with timing. I see possibly a completion here, or something to do with 6, which would be the Lovers, the Choice, something to do with healing. This is like, usually a 3 of Wands is like inverted, is like lack of foresight. Can't even see it coming. So here I would say with this inverted like this, it's like you're it's like your lack of decision, your struggle in balancing the masculine and the feminine, or this and the other. Actually, I mean, it looks very much like the masculine and the feminine, right? We have a round thing and a pointy thing. Right? Your inability, especially with Aquarius, is ability to talk yourself from one side to the other and back and forth again, floating around. 40 different answers for everything. It's like your lack of ability to come to your own decision is somehow forcing the universe to say, like, I'm not even gonna tell you what it is, then the decision will be made for you. And again, there's this 5 energy of a pivot, right? 5 of Wands is Saturn in Leo, right? So we have Leo and then Capricorn, and then this energy of being forced into darkness, kind of like Star Trek Into Darkness. It's like, you're not gonna do it, we're gonna go weep, and this is, it's like, if you don't pick which restaurant you want to eat at, we're gonna go where the hell I fucking pull into. But we do have strength here, but also it's sort of like lion taming, right? I mean, whatever is forcing this decision for Aquarius has to have the strength to overcome. Now again, Leo, the opposite of Aquarius, though we have this idea of the darkness being the opposite of the sun. So I think especially with the 2 here, there's obviously some duality going on. It's like the masculine and the feminine energies are kind of battling it out within Aquarius. Again, if you're in a relationship, it could be something to do with that, right? Because I do see the energy of the lovers here, but in general, it's an internal struggle. What am I gonna do? Well, in a pinch, you'll have to do something. But let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. The Tower. I knew that was coming. You're being forced. A 7. Forced to restructure because of this challenge between the 2 energies. And Morgan Greer. Ace of Rods. Okay. So we have this Mars energy coming in from the Aries card, right? Because Aries is ruled by Mars. It's like going 3-4, right? But 8 twice the Tower. It's like being forced to step up to restructure because you won't look ahead in life and make a decision of what you're doing. But then we see 3 and 1 is the 4 again, that restructure. But then I see 1 and 2 is the 3 as well. It's like it's a 9. 3 squared 9. Okay, so Ace of Rods. Again, just more fire. So there's something here. What is the Jupiter? Okay. For Aquarius, by July, by the time you get to the beginning of Leo, into your opposite sign, you're being forced to restructure and to balance. All right. I talked through the end of the segment. Okay, so I was saying that by about the middle of July, Aquarius is going to be forced to restructure their energies of this sort of imbalance between their masculine and feminine energies. And and again, it could be an exterior thing where Aquarius is a masculine feeling strangled by their feminine in some way, or like manhandled, or perhaps Aquarius is manhandling a Leo, but it doesn't really matter. The point is that there's an imbalance within Aquarius yourself, and your lack of ability to make a decision with your energies harmonized is forcing this tower to come in. And I would say within the next 6 weeks that Aquarius is going to be doing a little bit of a trial by fire, but the end result is going from this I don't know, maybe, like I don't know, maybe, to I know what I want. Like, and I'm gonna go out and get it. Okay? So that should be pretty understandable. And I am using both of these decks again, so I do have to shuffle them. Oh, this is bothering me on this hand. Okay. So we're doing... Let me just shuffle these first. I hit the camera because these cards are so fucking tall. New bottom card. It's not good because I just saw what's on there. Aquarius, Capricorn, this over here. Oh, that was a weird way to go. Okay, so we have Saturn into Earth. Capricorn. Okay. So we have the Magician. Air and mercurial energy. Kitty. This sun portal here. Capricorn. Hanging out, thinking about stuff. Just kind of chilling, working on that solar plexus. Six of Wands. And the Eight of Cups. Oh, look at these cards, how similar they are. Eight, 6, 14. Together with 115. The Devil. And notice this cat's got its paw on the pentacle, or the snow leopard there. Alright. This is like performing a magic trick for an audience, but for a small audience. And look at this. This one's got a bonnet on. It's like I'm pulling the wool over your eyes. Interesting. Just funny because Capricorn is the goat. Eight of Cups. Saturn in Pisces. Jupiter in Leo. There's that solar energy. So we have a victory. There's a potential tower moment, but I think it's happened already. Because it's sort of backwards. We have the Chariot. Possibly 7 of Wands. And then we have a potential 9 of Cups. What is... Okay. So it looks to me like Capricorn is... they're successfully performing a magic trick for this audience of one, where they're like, which of these 8 cups that I'm moving around has the fish under it? And at that point, is it going to pull in from this ethereal realm into the physical? So it's I would say that Capricorn is definitely in some kind of relationship here. Doesn't necessarily have to be a love relationship, but it kind of looks like it might be. So let's see what's on the bottom of the deck here. This is kind of amusing me greatly here. The 8 of Cups again. I was heard a little bit shattered by the Rolling Stones. Look how dark this mountain is. Right? So that's that tower, but again, it's like it's already happened. I took that shit down. And, okay, the Timberin ones. 8 of Wands. There's that 9 of Cups. 8 of Wands in reverse. What is the 8 of Wands? Communication. Okay. Oh, I just heard it's like we have a score to settle because these two are like null setting each other. 8, 8, 8. 7. Okay, the cat. Okay, so it's like they're. Oh, okay. Capricorn is like they're like literally trying to pull a fishy rabbit out of the hat. We have this. Okay, I was gonna say victory, but it's like recognition. It's like this other person is recognizing something that Capricorn is doing. But Capricorn isn't the one who's going to be talking about it. Right? There's like, it's like it's happening slow. It's like a slow motion. Okay, so I'm trying to do words and have like a video in my head at the same time. Capricorn has just gone through a tower moment, and there's an observer that's seeing Capricorn pop up a new tower, like an inflatable thing. And they're seeing it happen as like a little like slow motion thing, and it looks like a magic trick, like a stop motion animation, and Capricorn is trying to pretend like they're like, what? I'm just focusing on my stuff, on my work, like always. I don't know what's going on here, and it's like Capricorn is trying to have this confidence because they're looking away from this like win a little bit. They don't realize that it's like the Capricorn doesn't realize that they won the day yet. But here it's like this performance is like, oh my god, what just like that was amazing. All right, so that might not make sense for everybody, but like walking away from the crap that doesn't serve you twice. It's like that old tower is friggin' gone. And whether anybody knows about it or not yet is to be determined, kind of. Alright, so I need to shuffle both of these. Again. Put these back in the package. Oh, there's the sun. And you're slippery. Be very surprised if that has the same card on it now. Come on. They always get messed up because the cards are slightly different widths. I think the Tim Burton ones are just a little bit wider than the historical fashion ones. Okay. Sagittarius. Okay. Fire and Jupiter. The Shadow, 15. So that's the devil in this deck. So we have the Sphinx, we have a spider web, we have two figures talking to each other, and their shadows are very tall here in between the paws. Doing some shadow work, trying to work on that masculine and feminine energy. What are we coming up against here? We've got failure. 7 of discs. So usually 7 of pentacles is a good number. We have Saturn in Taurus. It's usually that, like, having patience and, you know, waiting for the harvest. Here I see it as, because there's only like integers here, there's no 7.5. I'm definitely seeing this failure card right now as half of the shadow. Ace of Cups inverted. Table 1. Oh, look, it's kind of like a spider web too. This is very entangled as well. So we have this, like, half of the shadow, like 7 oscillating with the 1 is trying to be 7.5. 7, 8, 15. Alright. We're having trouble doing the shadow work because it's so emotionally painful and we feel like we keep failing to get back into the light. It's like, come on, I did the shadow work already. Let's go. Okay. So there's this idea of this constant feeling of falling into the abyss, which is where the shadow is. Now, I'll say that for a very long time, every time I got upset about something, I do have 3 planets in Sagittarius, so this might be relevant to me. I would feel that, like, abysmal falling down into the oubliette, kind of suicidal, ultimate mournful stage. And it feels like it's never going to release. And then it's like misery for a few days and then just like stability at 0. And then any kind of happiness would be dangerous, because you know that the next time there's going to be a failure, a system failure, and it's going to come back again. Now what's happening with me now is that I don't have that. There is no underground for me anymore. Like when I hit a bottom feeling now and I get really upset, I hit the ground, and then I just sit there like, now what the hell do I do? Because I'm not used to being that stable. So for Sagittarius right now, you're still in this place that I was even like 6 months ago. Anywhere from like 10 years to 6 months ago, I would have been in this energy of not knowing how to complete the shadow. Now, I'm a Capricorn, so this would definitely have been my card, but I'm definitely about here now. I'm not quite all the way there, but we're getting there. And a little bit more patience. Okay, so, and then we do have Saturn, the Capricornian energy here. It's like a very grounded card, right? Saturn in Taurus, ruled by Venus, which is very, I mean, Venus is ruled by, wait, Venus, no. What am I doing? Yeah, Venus also rules Libra, so it's this idea of trying to balance out this energy, and it's like you can't always think through it. You have to be able to feel through it, right? If you just think about your shadow, it's not always going to resolve. You have to actually feel those feelings to unbind them. So let's get to the bottom of the deck. The Ace of Orbs. So again, you're not going to get anywhere by just thinking about it. This Queen of Swords is like, what the fuck is going on? So we have Virgo and Libra. So we have more earth and more air. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. You know, I thought I saw Mercury somewhere else in here, but maybe I was mistaken. So we're dealing with like thinking yourself into the ground over and over, down into that oubliette again. There's this sort of circular thinking of like, oh, I hate myself, what the hell? And the Queen here is a 13. That's that death cycle that's being refused. Right? 7 also kind of... 7 is also roughly half of the 13. That's this death, right? So 7 minus the 1, because it's inverted, is 6, which brings the 13 as well. So it's this resistance to transformation here, because your ego is so involved in this like self-deprecation cycle. So here's the 8 that goes with the 7 for the shadow, right? So we have Saturn, again, and this time in Pisces. So we have indolence, 8 of Cups, and in this deck, it's like the slacker card. You're not putting in the effort. And we have this 8 minus the 1, bringing it back to the 7. 7 of Cups is that idea of, like, I just heard full of shit, right? Your mind is, it's like my brain is full of fuck. You're so distracted by all of these things, and this is really trying to walk away from pain, but you can't really walk away from it and avoid it and not go through the transition and be like, come on, I thought I was done already, because you've only tried to think through the shadow. You haven't tried to feel through the shadow. And in opening up that heart space and letting the darkness seep out, that is the way to heal it. You have to, in some ways you do have to relive it, even if it's triggering, because it's going to keep throwing it back in your face like an ego body slam until you open up the heart chakra and deal with the inner child and the pain and all that, and then you can put down these 8 cups and move through it into the 9 and have enough, because the 9 will give you enough momentum to get past the shadow. It'll put you in the tower, which will give you that restructure, right? 9 and 7 is 16, which will give you that movement. And now also notice that 1 and 5 is 6. That's a healing moment. So it's not to be, Sagittarius isn't being tortured necessarily. It's you're being brought into this moment to heal by realizing that you can't think your way out of it. Okay. So I'm using both of these decks again, so I gotta shuffle those. Okay, there we go. Look at this one. Okay. Weird angle because of the way I've got my body wrapped around the camera. Okay. There we go. Alright, so we have a new bottom card. We're ready to rock and roll. Sagittarius. Scorpio. I can't. Try not to knock over the camera. Okay. Pluto? Yeah. Water ruled by Pluto. Hades, the lord of the underworld. Almost the same height. It's funny, I've got to work your light card in the Lord of the Underworld. Trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? Look at all this darkness here. It's like, let your light shine down. 5 of Pentacles inverted. So Droopy Rose is doing that stop motion animation backwards. It's like reminds me of Pink Floyd The Wall with the flowers. And the 8 of Wands inverted as well. Oh, just we have my parents have, I should say, this pull string Sigmund Freud owl. And it's from the 70s, so it's really old now and it doesn't really talk well. But one of the things it says is, there's something you're not telling me. Why do you hate your mother? That will be $100. Lie down on the couch. All right. 5 and 8, 13. We have a death cycle, which makes sense because we're in Scorpio. And we've just come through the Scorpio full moon with that whole cycle thing here. So what are you being called to transform within you? Look how dark this all is. Five of Pentacles. Mercury in Taurus. Air, which also rules Libra, which is air. And the Eight of Wands. Mercury in Sagittarius. Which is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter retrograde. Okay. Yeah, so the transition here, it's like rising from the dead. Right, and here we have like Frankenstein's monster here. I'm going to see what's on the bottom of the decks. Don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Like I said, let your light shine down. So the death cycle really is Scorpio is like a zombie going around pretending like you're everybody else. But it's like Pleasantville, right? When everybody starts turning from black and white into color, and the mom there, oh, I almost remembered her name too. I love her. What is her name? She was in The Contender. Totally blanking on her name. Anyway, she started turning color, then she went to Jeff Daniels, who was a painter, to paint her back to black and white so that nobody would like beat her up and call her a whore. So this is like Scorpio has been a zombie dressed up like everyone else, just trying to fit in, feeling like ice to the world. And here we have this call from this Sagittarius energy, which is like the closest fire next to Scorpio, right? So it's like the inner fire of Scorpio is telling them is like shooting this like signal into the brain that says, wake up, like rise from the dead. Let's see what the other card is here. What do we got? The High Priestess inverted. So this moon energy again, that Scorpio moon in the death cycle, and then we have the High Priestess here is the moon, but the moon card is Pisces, right? Which looks a lot like that too there. It's kind of like, why is this in reverse though? 7, inverted 7, like the Chariot isn't going. And then we have a 10 inverted, 10 wands. It's too much. Okay, so again, like being like everyone else is too much. It's chunking up your intuition. It's overburdening you. It's 7 Pentacles. It's like nothing is happening in your life. You have nothing to show for it because you're just like a drone. There's nothing happening. You've been waiting around forever. It's just like ugh. And this inner calling that's trying to stab you in the brain center is saying you're being told to rise from the dead and be who you really are. Don't pretend to be like everyone else when you're really this high priestess. intuitive, knowing, comfortable in the dark, but not dimming your light. All right, Scorpio is fine in the dark, but you can't just be dark just to be like everyone else. You are in the yin yang, the little white spot in the dark center. The creamy center. The Tootsie Roll Pop. Scorpio. I'm using these cards again. I am done with both of these decks. Okay. Libra. So Libra is air and it's ruled by Venus. Now I have two cards in the center here because one of them is a wild card, and I happened to see that when I was shuffling them out. So we have a Knight of Cups related to the 6. Thank God they're both upright. Okay. King of Cups and the 2 of Cups inverted. Okay, so 6 Cups. Boy, Libra, you sure are in your feelings. Sun in Scorpio, and we just had the Moon in Scorpio. The Knight of Cups. Aquarius and Pisces. So that's thinking about your feelings. Trying to get some kind of, I see this 2 here from this card as relating to Pisces as well, just because it looks like a Pisces symbol. 2 of Cups here. Venus in Cancer. Right? So Libra, head over heels in love. Trying to figure out, it's like you're trying to intuit what to do. Like it's like you're spying on them psychically because you're just so into them. The King of Cups is like glowing with the love. Again, we have Libra and Scorpio here. So we have this idea that coming out of the Scorpio moon, that that Libra is in a balanced energy. They're head over heels in love, that they don't understand why they can't get it. Like, I want the 2 Cups, and they're like, oh, I guess I better like run out there and freaking go get it. 6 of Cups is like reminiscing about the past. It's like, oh, it's like it's like I've healed my heart. Now usually the 6 of Cups is the feminine energy balance, open heart. But this king is so like into his feminine that he's like overflowing in, like he wants to bring this cup to the feminine energy. And I'm just saying he because it's a masculine. But why isn't he bringing it? Where's my, oh, for the bottom of the deck. Queen of Swords. Virgo and Libra. Interesting. And the 8 of Wands. Inverted. Mercury in Sagittarius. Okay, weird. He's afraid to talk to the feminine energy because he thinks that she is going to like talk down to him in some way, or make it's like, it's not like she's gonna bite his head off because she's in the upright, right? But he worries that the communication isn't gonna go right. Or that he's not bringing her the cup because there's some kind of a delay. This is all desire, but then it's like, and like the Queen of Cups isn't always a bitch. Like, she's got a good sense of humor, but it's like maybe she doesn't think I'm funny because I'm so emotional. Like, I don't know how to be direct about it. I mean, I also see this as like a junior lover's card, right? It's like a lower vibrational lover's card. It's like he doesn't want to bring her the cup until it's at least vibing at the 6. 6, 8, 14. That's what the problem is. It's like the cup isn't, like he wants to bring it to her, but the cup isn't as full, or he thinks that it's not good enough, and that's what's causing the delay and the lack of communication. But I think he should try her because she is in the upright, that Queen of Swords, and she's got grounded energy with Libra in it, so she's vibing on at least part of the same level here, right? Libra ruled by Venus, and then we have Virgo and Libra here. So he thinks that it's not going to be enough, and even though she's on the same, they're vibing on the same wavelength. He's full of love, but he's not got a lot of confidence right now. And I think that if he just tried, that he could turn this around and at least get something going. And then he'd find that it would, because the feminine heart is open, that it would bring that 6 right up and bring this to where it needs to be, to get rid of anything in the past that hasn't gone right, and to really fix that situation. Okay, am I not using these again? And I am using these again. Okay, so shuffle these guys a little bit. Somebody is mowing their lawn, and I swear to Christ it was snowing earlier. Like, why? Virgo. Alright, so we have Earth, ruled by Mercury. Got hungry too. 4 of Chalices. I want to go home. I don't like it. Blessing to bring prosperity. 21. So that's either like world energy or breaking down to a 3. So 3, 4. And then also the Hangman in reverse possibly, and the High Priestess and the Magician, which is kind of what she looks like here. This pentagonal symmetry there. Pentagonal symmetry. Okay. And it's prosperity. You would think that there would be some kind of pentacles involved. Blessing to shield and safeguard you. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Okay. So this is like springtime daylight, and this is like nighttime winter kind of energy. There's sort of like an eclipse going on here, or perhaps the Sirius star system. Very similar to what's going on in this card. We have an orb with the moon in there as well. Okay, so this is like, I feel like this is all the same woman here. It's like the character Virgo, that maiden energy. 4 and 5, that's 9. That's like the Hermit. And then there's Emperor energy and Hierophant energy. And this is also Empress energy. Okay. So Virgo has been trying to balance their highest masculine and feminine energies, right? The High Priestess, the Emperor and the Empress, and then also the Magician and the High Priestess. And both of those characters, when they're at their highest potential, they're getting to the Hierophant card, which is that downloading the higher self, that like faith and unity and like religious numinous overtones. So here it's like she's practicing balancing these energies, this sort of, the feminine and the masculine energies joined together create Genesis. It creates stuff. It's that life-giving energy, that union of the egg and the sperm. So she's growing fruit here by using that dual energies, and she's doing it psychically. See all this growth coming from her head? It's like she's willing it into existence, like telekinetically. And here, I'm just saying she because it's the Virgo character. And here, it's like these higher... The Emperor is that protector, provider energy. So we're shielding and safeguarding. And then we're also protected by our higher self. This murder of crows here coming in with this information. And we're saying, like, I've been through the brightness and the growth and the lightness, and I've also been through the darkness. It's like I'm balanced in the light and the dark and the masculine and the feminine, and now I'm getting this higher self download coming in because of it. And in that way, I am able to achieve growth and to protect myself. Here, it's like, I hate everything. I don't like it. I want to go home to my higher self and not have to deal with anything. Like, no. But look at the dolphins. Like, hey, listen. So here really is the problem, and this is kind of the solution. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Karma 20. So that's judgment here in this deck. So the issue here is coming into Earth feeling like everything sucks because you have to resolve this sort of karmic cycle. Right? So the Four of Cups. Right? This is the moon in Cancer. So that's moon with a little bit of a kick to Pisces. So we have this real psychic energy that's just kind of spinning its wheels. And then we have Pluto energy with fire. So that's Pluto is the death cycle there. It's like resolving the karma, right? 13 breaks down to a 4. So it's like, I feel like I'm dying, but the transition from the death cycle is this power up. It's the other. Oh, okay. So what's the other one here? So we have 4 again here, inverted. A blessing of the waters. So we just have this, like, more emotional content, right? It's like here I am stuck on an island, but what happens if I go into shore? And now 4 in the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck is the Beauty Way card, which has this flower on it. So instead of focusing on everything that sucks, go back into shore and climb back on land. Ground yourself. Ground these emotions. And that will give you this new resolve to see that there is beauty in things, and you'll be able to start growing again. And you'll be able to have this power with the darkness instead of being like a victim to it. And that is the resolution of this karma and of being who you are. So we're going through a portal, we're dealing with the waters and the death cycle, and then we have the beauty way up here with your higher self coming down. Okay. So I need... Oh, am I done? I'm done with those cards. That's good. Okay. Done with these guys. Running out of places to stack things. Okay. Virgo. Leo. I need some water. Ace of Pentacles. Spring and Earth. Ace of Pentacles again. Also struck Zarathustra. So I see 11 here. I also see 2. I see duality. I see the lion with its facing that way. I see the lion facing that way and the disc in between. And the Queen of Pentacles inverted. So we have no sugar / new Mother Nature. Okay, so it's like a resistance to transformation here, but that's so weird. She's taken over us all. Queen of Pentacles. Sagittarius and Capricorn with water in the earth. So there's like a directive to growth. It's like we're taking these aces of pentacles and planting them in the earth, and we're watering them and giving them sunlight, but nothing's happening yet. So I see 15 here, which is the devil, which is also Capricorn, Saturn energy. Interesting. Okay, so what's going on here? Oh, these don't actually go like this, but the Triptych Door. It's like this is the only one that's getting any water, so the whole garden is like lopsided. Okay, Aquarius. Judgment in reverse. It's so weird. Judgment. Pluto. Yeah, so here's a death cycle again. 4 of Swords. So that's 4. 13 breaks down to a 4, which is a death cycle. The 4 of Swords. Jupiter in Libra. Pluto. I mean, I kind of see the XX here as being related to the ace here. Four of Swords does break down to a 13. What's with the Three of Swords, though? Saturn in Libra. Jupiter in Libra. It's like a pair of aces. Sun isn't shining. Okay. I think what's going on here is that Leo is trying too hard to what am I trying to say here? It's like Leo is fighting too hard to have a certain outcome. Like furiously trying to get to this Queen energy. Now the Queen of Pentacles is actually just kind of chilled out when she's in balance. But here it's like she's worried that if she doesn't keep trying to poke at the plants and water them and everything, that nothing's going to happen. And it's like, why isn't my life purpose becoming evident? Why isn't anything really happening? And the thing is that it's like Leo isn't registering that they've just come through some kind of transition phase and they need to just chill out for a little bit and let everything sink in. Because this pair of aces it's like they're already there on the horizon. But the more you poke at the plants, like the less they're going to respond. It's like, you have this. So stop flapping around. Right? It's a queen, right? It's a 1 or it's a 1 or a 13. I mean, 5 swords is like mind games. You're like fucking yourself over in your head because you're so worried about getting this outcome. But in your life path, this is like destined. And in order to have that pivot point, you need to let go a little bit. But also it's just chill out, take a nap, sleep on it. You've already been through the battle. And here it's like you're kind of ignoring this wake up call. But the idea is that you need to sleep because the 4 of Swords inverted is waking up. But here it's like, just set the alarm and have a nap, you'll be fine. Like you're not getting the do-do-do-do. That's why this is inverted, because you have to go into this chilling out, letting it settle. These will come up on their own energy. And we have a 1 and a 3 here, 13, that's 4 and 4, that's 8 swords. That's, again, it's mind fucking. It's being trapped in your own mental prison. And in order to get out of it, you just have to simmer down for a little bit. and this pair of aces will come up in the right time. Okay, so that's it for Leo. So we have to do Cancer. I'm done with these. I'm done with these cards and these cards. Okay. Flip them that way so I'm done. Okay. Cancer. Okay, Cancer. So we have water sign ruled by the moon. Princess of Discs inverted. So I'll just show her because she's pretty cool. She's like super Capricorn chick with the horns and the furry coat here. Alright. Little yin yang flower going on there. Ten of Swords. Queen of Cups inverted. Okay. This lady is toast. Okay. So again, this is like frozen in time kind of energy, like ungrounded, like going deep, going really, like you have to go deep. Here, it's like the swords are all the way in there. Sun in Gemini. This is like stick a fork in me, I'm done. And again, it's like they're really in there. They're in deep. Like I'm up to my waist in this shit. Queen of Cups. Gemini and Cancer together. Okay. So we have, where the hell was I? Sun in Gemini. No, the Sun is a little bit of Leo energy, so I feel like this could be like a summer timeline situation. Right, because she's normally spring, but she's inverted. So we could have the fall going into summer. But anyway, we have, what I see is like Gemini, Cancer, Leo energy just kind of like rolling around. So it could be the energy of that time of year, or it could just be like Cancer and its nearby neighbors. Like your Cancer's energy is like flowing in and out, like to itself and then out to people around it and then back again. Like very unstable, like, ah. And I also feel with these two feminine court cards inverted, it's like, like thoughts are too much, the world is too much. I'm frozen because my emotions are all over the place and I'm mentally worn out and I don't know what to do in the real world. Like mental and emotional anguish and confusion paired by just kind of all stop catatonic phase in the world. All right, so let's see what's going on with the bottom of the deck. Okay, this is an extra card that, let me see if it's upright or not. It's inverted. Okay. This card is a card that's extra. It's not one of the tarot cards that was just in the deck. And I left it in here because we have this like floral center and then this like flashing angular chakra color system, but I also see it as this sort of Tesla devised 369 grid. And it's also related to the 10 Sephiroth and the tetrahedral structure of the universe. So this card for me, it also, like the way I said that Cancer's energy is like flapping around. It's like ching 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 ching, like a pinball machine. But I see here it's all feminine energy, really. I mean, the sun in Gemini is slightly more masculine, but it's very much distorted feminine energy here. And here, this is inverted. I see it as like a very masculine energy of trying to balance this out. And just sort of like topsy-turvy. And the 5 energy has to do with a pivot. There's something that's going to, some kind of directive from your higher self that's causing you to have to focus on changing your direction in what you've been doing. I did shuffle these, and again, I've got the 8 of Wands inverted. And I think that came out the last time I did this. So what's this energy? Mercury and Sagittarius. So Mercury is air, which rules Virgo. And Gemini. Okay. So I do sense this like attempt at grounding, but then I also see these as being related. So we have this moon energy coming in to deal with the shadow, which makes sense because if you're doing a deep dive, then you're already in the shadow energy. And again, it's like everything is happening really slow. There's like a frozen moment in time. It's like in order for Cancer to change their direction in life, they're being forced into it by saying, if you keep going this direction, I'm going to keep stabbing you in the back. Until Cancer's like, oh, okay, I guess I better go over here. Like, what the hell? It's just this idea of being unable to unable or unwilling to get in touch with this inner self in some way. It's like Cancer having to operate in masculine energy so long until they're just totally lopsided and they have to go back and start over again with this feminine energy and learn how to do feminine energy, because the energy that they had before was distorted. Okay, so Cancer really needs to work on melting, nurturing, opening up, breathing some universal energy into their feminine side. Now I'm going to pull the next card underneath this because that one's pretty vague. It's the Emperor. So again, Cancer has been operating from their masculine side. And the directive is to say you need to open up your feminine side, whether it's the inner feminine or the exterior feminine, or the the feminine side of your inner child. You have to let it out because it'll keep you frozen in the material world if you don't start understanding what that energy is. Okay? You know, it's like, ew, girls. Well, that attitude is not getting you where you need to be. All right, finally Gemini here. Just good because I need food. Gemini. So we have air and Mercury. We're like a red, white, and blue situation here. Stars and stripes. Okay. Five of Wands inverted. Okay, so we possibly have some maturity here, some ending of conflict. Pivot point, changing direction. Really putting all kinds of crap down and going somewhere else. So we have Capricorn and Leo, which is really that taskmaster saying, okay, we're not going to mess around with, you know, being the big honcho around here. We're going to take our energy and go do something productive. Ace of Swords inverted. Six of Wands upright. Oh, look at this. 6 and 6. Okay. This is sort of like, again, I'm getting like winter energy and Saturn Capricorn energy, but with Leo, right? And then this is Jupiter and Leo. It's like changing your luck by maturing. Right? You wouldn't have gotten to this victory moment if you kept fighting with other people. It's like struggle and fight with your own thoughts is to, you know, constantly lash out at others. Your communication is combatant, but once you resolve that and flip it all around, then you have this, your luck is finally changing and things are starting to go your way and you feel a lot better about yourself. And then 6 being the lover's number is also a choice. You choose to stop fighting yourself and everyone around you. So, why do I feel like that one's blurry? Okay. So let's see what's on the bottom of these decks here. 5 of Pentacles. So that's reiterating this 5 of Swords here, right? It's like the lack. This is Mercury in Taurus. So it's like constantly, this constant aggravation results in this sort of material unhappiness for Gemini. You know, you can't be happy and indulge yourself in the physical world if every moment is, you know, feeling like you're waiting for the bigger, better deal, or, you know, somebody's out to get you. And then we have 10 of Pentacles. Okay. So Mars and Pisces. And Pisces always reminds me of Gemini because they're similar here. But the idea is, look at this. We have had a tower moment here. All right, 6 and 10. So the Gemini chose to rebuild themselves, to put down their little fisticuffs. We have 5, 5, that's 10, that's 11. They did it at the right time. We have 11 looking here. And then we have Ace, 10, 11 again. And then we have 10, 10, 20. That's Judgment. So Gemini is really turning themselves around with this becoming more of who they are, by maturing, by choosing to get over, you know, the idea that people are out to get them or that they're self-sabotaging in some way. And now we can move about with people. We don't have to confront them. We're just like, yeah, okay, there's a person. That's cool. How you doing? You know, there's no battle going on here. Even though the bitch has the same hair. It's like, okay, I'm cool. I don't need to get all up in that. And then we have this victory and material abundance because we went through the tower on our own. Or Gemini went through the tower on their own. Right? So it's like, it's not just material abundance either. It's like contentment. It's like, I feel at ease. I'm okay. Which is a definite contrast to everyone's out to get me. It's like, oh, okay, I have what I need, and I can, you know, be cool with other people. All right? So I think that's good enough for that. Where's the... Let me get some food. I'm so hungry. That's what I get for not really eating. Okay. That was my... each of those were... what I have is a Triptych Door reading. And... pretty sure... Did I write it down here? Yeah. Triptych Door reading is $22. So you get the bigger middle card, the 2 side cards, and then usually the cards on the back of the deck as well, on the bottom of the deck. So if you want to get that reading, you can contact me at thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com. If you want to see the complete list of readings, that's going to be in the description box of my infomercial video, which is linked below this one, or you can email me and I'll give you that list that has all these points of contact and information, payment, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo for readings or donations. It'll be a video that's pre-recorded like this. It'll have an unlisted URL. I'll give you the URL and then you can watch it. Check out my playlists. The playlists tab at the top of my channel. So you can see the astrological check-ins. You can see Pick a Pile. You can see my adventures with plastic crack for my Barbie / collectible stuff. You can see my little arts playlist for a tutorial on how to make this, and hopefully I'll have some better stuff in that playlist at some point. I've got a couple other playlists, like channeled entities, and a playlist that has samples of the readings I'm not quite done redoing yet, but they'll be there. Those are all things that are going on. I should point out that people should actually read the descriptions of my videos, especially for Card of the Day. That's another playlist, because I'll put a little synopsis in the bottom, and sometimes it's like extra or more concise versions of what I end up saying in the video. The video is just a bigger explanation. So actually do actually, if you're nasty, read the descriptions in the description box. And also in the bottom of the descriptions in my in the description box when I do videos, not for these ones because I'll put a picture of the stacks probably, but which I forgot to do before I recorded. A lot of my videos will have artworks on them, and those are things that I've made, drawings and paintings and whatnot, and I usually write in the description box what the thumbnail is, and occasionally they are for sale or they're part of my coloring books. So if you want to see some of that stuff, you can get into the catalog there, or my DeviantArt page, and you can see more of that as well. So this and all that other stuff is linked in that description box of my infomercial video, again linked below this one, or you can email me and I'll get you that as well. Alright, I will see you in a couple weeks for another astrological check-in. Bye bye now, and don't be a stranger. Bye.